Hello, I'm Barry John, and welcome back to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank 2002. I have a co-hero, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Leylite, fresh back from Poketaru.
Well, I think Poketauro is one of the places we're visiting today, but actually our next stop is Gaspar here. You may remember from the first run-through, I basically went up the middle of the map and grabbed the plot coupon to head back to Poketaru. Here, now, today, I'm going to do the rest of it.
So now that you're this decked out and you've bought almost every weapon in the game, how much of a problem is combat at this point?
The only problems with combat at this point are basically going, what weapon do I want to use?
It's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm. Because, well, we've talked about weapon design in this game before, and there's a certain degree of, like, there's weapons for every play style, pretty much. And so you get to that point where your choices at this point are, well, what do you want to use rather than what do you have to use?
Yeah, that's kind of like a subtle thing, is, the weapons don't necessarily have to be perfectly balanced towards each other in the sense of, like, a multiplayer first-person shooter or anything like that. You can just come up with weapons that do different things and are good in various different areas of terrain, for example, different ranges, different groups of enemies, different damage profiles, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And then the uses kind of just automatically fall out from that.
Yeah. When you...
Oh.
Yep, so there's one of the hidden achievements in this level, or the skill points, is to destroy all of these bombers by destroying their anchor fuel lines, basically.
Oh, it ignites the fuel inside of them, of course.
Yeah.
Good thing they don't seem to have any kind of radio communication at all.
No.
Or maybe these are automated, they're unmanned?
Probably, considering how this things work. But destroying that one was required because otherwise there wouldn't have been that swing shot or those platforms I just ran over.
It's a good thing that that wreckage, it's a poor heat conductor. It's not as hot as the lava that's inside.
Yeah. But talking about weapons and design, when I get around to doing the New Game Plus bonus stuff, it includes like developer videos and commentary, and they point out that like literally the first gun that was designed for this, the first gun that was designed for this game was the suck cannon. Like
like that's a whole like a mechanic all of in itself, and it introduces the kinds of programming problems that you need to get right on the first try. Things like remembering what order you sucked up the enemies in, what your data storage is going to look like, pointers, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the fact, they thought it was fun.
And, like, because you're making that decision, it's like on the drawing board, that informs the design of your enemies and your models and whatnot. How do you distinguish between a small size and a medium size enemy? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, these are, even back in the PlayStation 2 era, like, these are still hugely interconnected games. Like, they weren't indie games where, one person can do all the work over the course of 2 years. Like, these were full-on teams.
Yeah, they had to hire an artist to model these plants, I'm sure. And then they had probably, at some point, they had to think, during playtesting, are these plants taking up too much polygons or room in memory or whatnot? Are they affecting the rendering of the level? That kind of attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at this game and there is I won't say it's background noise, but there's a lot of stuff moving or in the background that, are just there to look good, and they're draws on...
Oh, yeah. If you're a kid and you're looking up at the skybox, something will fly across your field of vision.
Yeah. Like, even on this level here, you can even see in the background, like, rocks floating by.
You know, there's detail for the sake of detail, and not just because it necessarily serves any kind of gameplay or indeed lore purpose. It's just there for the sake of looking pretty.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, stuff to be there to look good because it looks good isn't wrong, as long as it doesn't detract from the core gameplay loop.
I mean, heck, that's like half the reason to make a video game in the first place, is just to make something that looks nice.
That should be the last one. Wait for it. And then I'll be able to collect the gold bolt that's also down here on the end. There we go.
Very skillfully done.
Thank you. I have the guide up. When I was playing this game, I actually had the guide up to walk me through the skill points and gold bolts as I was going through, so... And now a long boat ride back to near the start.
Yeah, I mean, it's the future. They have lava boats.
Hover lava boats.
So I guess just to kind of lead things along into the next direction, is there a particular skill point that gave you a lot of trouble? Like it took you a whole bunch of tries to get?
The speed run on the last video for the audio for the raceway speed run, basically, that one took me dumb amounts of time to get me under 1 minute 35.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of understandable. Like that seems to be pretty consistent for a lot of games. Is these challenges that involve mini game systems, or at least like different modes of transportation, like different controls, different physics, something where none of your experience from the rest of the game is going to carry over. You just have to grind out sessions on that one thing.
So what I'm doing here is I'm going for the other skill point. I have to shoot down 5 ships with one of the 2 turrets here on the map. And it's just and once again, I'm breaking my own rule from the last video, or Battaglia, where the case was just find a path that an enemy is flying through and fill that path, and just shoot at that point with guns until the enemies or the targets spawn in and run into your
that's
bullets.
pretty common for this kind of thing, is just having a consistent path of waypoints and just having them follow the same lane, so to say. Makes things more predictable. And, again, in game development, you want your your rendering demands and your resource needs and all that to be predictable. Like, imagine if these things got stuck in level geometry because of some bug or some random pathing problem.
I don't want to think about that, thank you. It's not about wordage. And this is, I'm worried here from, like, are these, like, other units not spawning in properly? Did I miss something? Is the travel time of my guns too slow?
Yeah, it seems like this thing is able to keep up a pretty constant rate of fire without any gaps, so if you followed your own advice, you probably would have had it by now. Oh well.
Hey, I may be 100%ing this game, but even I'm not perfect at it.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the speedrunners.
Yeah. Alright, and this is me following my own advice.
There you go.
Yep. Now, I'll have to do the other optional area here and pick up the other gold bolt. So to say skill bolt. Jeez, John.
Well, better than gold points, I guess.
True. Now, up here, I kind of showed it off the time I was here officially, and I cut out a couple of failure runs, but now that I'm back up here properly, I'm gonna...
Oh, yeah.
This.
Yeah, now you've got maximum health, you've got tons of guns, so you're not going to run out of ammo ever, and, you know, you basically don't have to do this with the wrench anymore, like you're doing now.
Yeah, at this point, you know, me using the wrench is mostly just a case of, like, habit and stubbornness.
Yeah, good thing there's not a skill point for doing this whole section with the wrench.
God, no. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that should remain purely in the realms of self-imposed challenges and not on a checklist. And again, that's another subtle thing. You know, some challenges are not worth including in your game or level or what have you.
Oh, like, in the sequel, one of the challenges is basically upgrade all of your weapons to max. And there's a breakpoint halfway through the upgrades where you literally have to start shelling out money to pay for the next upgrade.
That sounds more tedious than anything else. Like, that's not a challenge, that's just a playtime measurement.
Yeah, but they tied it to one of the skill points. And unfortunately, I can't get a lock on... Oh, there we go. Come on.
Maybe a grenade would work better for this?
Yeah, but that would be easy, and I've already got the rocket launcher out. As I said, stubbornness.
Ah.
And I know that somebody in the thread has commented that, you know, the Glove of Doom would do great for this. I'm like, yes, the Glove of Doom would do great for this. That's not the point. Also,
yeah, even with that 8 health, you're still getting shredded here.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I lost like 3 health before even going for the gold bolt in the previous skill point. That
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, didn't really get recovered, but you don't actually have to destroy all these guys. You just have to get to the end here and ride this up.
That's true. That can be a hard lesson to learn in any game, is like, stop killing things, just run through. And, of course, that's much easier to do when you know where the end is, and on the first playthrough you won't.
But I do like the fact that
I guess that's kind of the advantage of checking the map, too, is when the whole thing is mapped out, plus that that upgrade that showed you the green secret sectors, you know, now you can actually see what the end of that path looks like and how close you are to getting to the end. But that breaks flow, so all these things are kind of fighting with one another.
Mm-hmm. But as I was saying there, I like the fact that there's a lot of ammo crates at the end of that run because they expect you to they expect you to use all the ammo getting through there.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be fun to have to rebuy or recollect that ammo again. So they know. They know. They just keep you in the flow.
Mm-hmm. Now we're back to your vacation spot, heading back to Pokitaru.
I have a pro tip. Don't order the meatloaf surprise. It is a surprise, but not the way you want it to be.
Fair enough. Now this one has two very time-consuming skill points on them. But I'm actually going to skip those skill points first and go get an optional item that really isn't required and is the thing that... Okay, here's the thing. I haven't actually bought all the guns yet because I want what's at the end of this section first before I do so. But this section of Pokitaru is another sewer swimming section, like the one under the Rilgar, just without the timed water rising puzzle anymore.
I guess it's pretty neat how, like, the tropical music is kind of doing double duty as a sewer-level music. Maybe that was just a happy accident.
In a way, yeah, but sorry, just double-checking how far my path is here. And me going, oh, wait, nope, I need the trespasser to get through some of this stuff. But there's the rhino.
Yeah, it kind of looks like you left
the...
that disguise on your hotbar for quite a while there.
Yeah. To be fair, like, I was just doing, like, marathon sessions, breaking up the video as I went along.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say,
I mean, again, that's kind of like the at a glance. You can tell like what are your favorite weapons, like what are you constantly using, and it'll be different for different people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, I gotta go refill the pool now. I was saying, like, when I had the trespasser on, because the way the water was, you could actually, the water was sort of overlapping the trespasser mini game, like it was an actual physical object in the game world.
Yeah, this kind of like back and forth kind of thing is not really my favorite, and I've seen that in a lot of different games too. You have to flip a switch so that you can access one thing, but then you have to go back to the switch so that you can flip it the other way to go farther down a path. Like, I've seen that so many different times across so many different games. It's a bit of a headache. I'm waiting for the one game that's going to shake that up.
Yeah, but then
sometimes that could be a good opportunity to introduce a boss in an area that you were backtracking through, though.
Yeah, but I was just saying, like, if you want a game where you don't have to worry about backtracking, isn't it like Final Fantasy 13?
Well, yes. Or any platformer that's 2D that you just go to the right.
Do. Oh, son of a bit! Wait. Ugh. But yeah, I'm just skipping the blarg because there's no reason to fight these guys.
Yeah, they aren't even actually that aggressive there. Like, you just kind of walked casually out of that ambush there.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, if enemies become too annoying, your game becomes annoying. You want to give the player the ability to get away from enemies when they legitimately do not feel like fighting them.
True. But for those of you who are wondering at home, those yellow platforms are platforms designed to tilt back and forth, like a seesaw. And
oh yeah,
so that's what they do there. And this is me just figuring out this particular puzzle, because, well, there we go.
Yeah, kind of stacking up those blockades all on the same column seems like a pretty good strategy, but it's up to the puzzle whether it'll actually let you do that or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad these TNT boxes are waterproof.
Oh, you'll be extra glad for that shortly. Now, this entire section, actually, is capable of being done without the hydro pack and without the O2 mask. I just don't recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds like that's going to be a close call.
Mm-hmm. But don't forget, this is also the world where you get the O2 mask. So, worst comes to worst, you just go the other path, get the O2 mask, then come back and do this one without the hydro pack for speed moving.
So I guess this is just one of those sections which you could have done earlier, but it just didn't make sense to do it until now.
Well, that, and to complete this section, I needed, not the... Okay, so I need the Raritanium that I picked up on Novalis? No, Hoven. I need the Raritanium from Hoven in order to finish this section here.
Is there like a flag that trips that does something, or?
No, it's an exchange quest. I exchanged the Raritanium from Hoven, which is a later world, for what's at the end of this run here.
Also, so you traded the paper clip for like a stapler, and you traded the stapler for like a motorcycle, and eventually you got the Raritanium, and you're about to trade it for a jumbo jet.
Pretty much, yeah. And of course, past me just going, oh my god, what are you doing? How are you so bad at this?
I'm sure somebody somewhere has made a program that solves these kinds of puzzles, but I just haven't found it yet.
I'm searching for a very elusive and secret substance. Raritanium.
Now, for those of you wondering at home, this is the guy who sold us the grind boots.
might be an excellent source of that element.
Well, not anymore. All that toxic dumping has obscured any trace of it. You will find raritanium for me.
No, I will not.
Piece of junk. My latest invention, the Persuader. I intended to use it to control minds, but well, the only thing it's gotten me so far is a discount from Gadgetron vendors.
Hey, I could use that.
Well, I'll trade it for some raritanium.
I believe planet Hoven is a source of that element.
Beat you to it. But I'm just collecting the last little bit of... okay, I'm drawing this out now. What? Seriously, past me. I know you recorded this video like months ago, but you don't have to drag it out like this.
Perfect. This is precisely what I need. You will bring me more raritanium.
You can't be serious.
Ah, well, I tried.
And now that gets mounted on the front of Ratchet's chest strap and changes his character model a little bit.
That's a nice detail. They didn't have to do that, but they did.
Mm-hmm. But the best part is, look at the prices on all the weapons now. It's 1/3 to 1/4 off all weapons now.
That's why you waited. And think of the profit. You know, now you can actually buy the Rhino ammo that much cheaper.
No, the ammo costs don't get affected.
Oh, I see.
And unfortunately, I only get the... there we go. I only got the bonus, or the little ta-da video for the last weapon I buy, which was the Tesla Claw.
Cities are full of...
Oh, wrong button. So, the next skill point I'm going to be going after, it's annoying as hell. I have to swim underwater, find all of these explosive boxes, touch them to start triggering them, and find all of them and blow them all up.
Yeah, this is definitely the sort of, like, recognition that you were that bored that you wanted, that you basically thought this was Crash Bandicoot and you had to destroy all the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, you really had nothing better to do with your time, so the game is actually recognizing your effort. Now, a question. Does this include the TNT boxes in the sewers that you just went through just a while ago?
No, it's only for the stuff that's underwater in this ocean area, basically.
Like on the seabed, on the sand?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And oddly enough, hidden walls prevent you from going any further instead of, like, you know, the random super piranha fish comes up and eats you if you try to go out of the map boundaries. But only if you're
or like
underwater.
some kind of fishing net or something, or buoys.
Yeah, but this only affects you if you're underwater. If you're on the surface and you try to go out of bounds, then the fish shows up. I know it's a weird choice, but it could just be an animation thing. But the hardest part, honestly, is just running around and finding all these boxes. And it was just tedious going back and forth and forth and back and back and forth.
Yep, the bane of any large open level. Whenever you have to look for something and you don't have a radar pointing you towards the next whatever that something is.
Everybody who's played Assassin's Creed, feathers. And, like, there's no background music, there's no indication on the map where you've been or haven't been underwater. And so, like, it just makes it so difficult. I don't even remember how long I took. Did I even leave? Did I leave all of this in? Am I going to subject you guys to the same torture I went through?
Frankly, I'm speechless. I have no further comment.
There's not even proper background music. That's the problem. seriously.
Oh
like,
wow, you really went off the map there.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, where am I going? What am I looking for?
Yeah, this might have been a good time to like make a second map screen that only shows up if you open the map when you're underwater, and like you could mark points of interest on that. Maybe there's like an engine reason why they could only have one map per planet or something.
Or, if it was a case of like make the TNT boxes like more visible underwater, like not just in regular in the regular map area, but
I mean,
like,
heck, yeah, give him a red glow or something.
yeah, something shiny.
Or change the lighting.
Have bubbles rise up from them, for example, that you can see at a distance. Like just anything to give the players a visual clue to where these things are.
I mean, I can understand not wanting to spoil the skill point for people who are just swimming around and, just exploring. But, like, certainly once it becomes obvious that they're going for the skill point, like, they have more than half of the TNT blown up, it certainly wouldn't hurt to add, like, some kind of an arrow pointing you towards where the next one is. Or, I mean, if people just complain about it too much, you could just remove the skill point. Just take it out. Leave the TNT boxes to be their own reward. They already give you money.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny little amount as it is, but it's something.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there's one.
Remove
There's
all
one
the
more.
TNT boxes and just put a single gold bolt down here somewhere. Make that the reward.
There we go, finally.
I mean, it all just comes down to time. I mean, time spent on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like the kind of thing that was just thrown in while they were brainstorming skill points and then just never got followed up on, maybe.
Yeah, it was like a temporary placeholder thing. Or somebody really wanted to have players swim around and make the most of the whole swimming mechanic.
We could just count ourselves thankful there wasn't some kind of underwater swim through the rings race down there and call it good.
Those come later.
Oh, good. Of course.
And switching back to the helipad, because that's my preferred method of going places. So these lovely little guys orbiting me, they basically take hits on my behalf.
Like projectile hits or melee hits or...
Yes, both. Like you can see there, I'm down to 1 because I blocked a few, they blocked a few hits on my behalf.
And where can you get more of them from? The Gadgetron vendor?
Yeah, basically they're an ammo-based weapon, and each point of ammo gives you basically 6 little guys that'll throw themselves in the way of horrible, horrible doom.
Well, I can certainly see there's some obvious use for them in boss fights.
Hey, past me, you bought a bunch of guns, use them.
So this is just a path that you didn't explore during an earlier episode that you're just doing now.
Yeah, because I needed the rocket pack, I needed the, or I didn't need the hydro, or any of the O2 mask or anything like that. It's just something to do for completion's sake at the end. Like, Poketar was one of those worlds where it's 1/3 requirement and 2/3 optional content. It was very nice of those enemies to stick around and do nothing while I celebrated getting the gold bolt. But the important part is that brings me back out all the way over here with part of the Poketaru escort mission.
Were they trying to, like, spike you even though you were, like, flying above them really high up?
Yes.
I guess it was purely like an XZ proximity without considering the Y, I guess.
That does sound about right. But just me not cutting out the trip back to the spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, how else will the viewers know that you have over 420,000 bolts?
Yeah, I know. I may have overdone it on getting bolts through the infinite bolt glitch, but honestly, don't care. But here is the other skill point that is going to take up the next 3 minutes, because I cut out a bunch of stuff. I have to shoot down 3 of these ships that are flying around. And the Visibomb gun is the only way to guarantee a hit, because these guys are outside of the Devastator lock-on range.
So that's why they put the, well, I guess that's why they put the ships near the start, so that the vendor would be right there, so you could refill when you, miss.
Oh, I'm going to miss a lot. But if you
yeah,
treat this like
I gotta call this one another placeholder.
Yeah, but I mean, part of it is that even if you follow my own advice about like treating this like a turret section, and this is me trying to use the proximity shot to take out a whole bunch at once, but didn't quite work. But the idea is that if you treat it like a turret section, even if you like aim at where the enemy is going to be, you still have to get your shot close enough and manually aim things.
Yeah, this is a slow projectile. The area of view is so small, too.
Yeah, and I was very worried.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was very worried there that that previous hit didn't actually hit because I saw the guy fly away afterwards. But, yeah, I'm going to be spending too much time on this skill point. Because, holy crap, I don't like this. And the worst part is, this isn't even the only time this gimmick gets used. Like, there is literally another Visibomb shoot down or shoot through targets thing. Actually, there's a couple of them. And none of them
I'm just glad that you haven't had to do any Descent 2 guided missile shots where you had to fly this thing through a tiny passageway yet.
Next stop is Orxon, and yes, you have to do that there to get
Dang
a
it!
bolt.
I hate it when I'm right.
Well, to be fair, I did do Descent a couple of years ago, so you know exactly what I was talking about when we went like, oh yeah, this is a guided missile puzzle. But at least with Descent, the guided missile puzzles were optional, or, bonuses, not... Well, technically this is an optional bonus, it's just, a particularly annoying one. In fact, that's it. We're done. I'm out of here. I'm going to see you all in the next video, when we go back to Orxon.
Good enough. Ship it. It's done.
Yeah, ship it. That's a very good pun. I appreciate that pun.